Hi, I'm Greg.
This is Derek.
And I'm Steve.
Welcome to Minute at End, and this is Monday.
We just watched a movie called Paris is Burning. It didn't even happen in Paris. There was no burning. But there was some drag queens.
There was some drag queens.
There was definitely some burns on the runway.
Oh, God.
They were burning it up.
So, to preface this all, we are back to LGBTQ AI2 Alphabet Soup Week. So this week, one of Steve's friends
Thank you, RJ.
asked him, he's never actually seen Paris is Burning. Me and Derek have seen it many times.
Opulence.
So he asked a question about us to watch Paris is Burning and talk about, is it still relevant in today's culture?
So, Greg, do you feel that Paris is Burning is still relevant to today's culture?
The most relevant reason is because a lot of RuPaul's Drag Race's themes and terms are taken from Paris is Burning.
I don't know why you're all gagging.
Yeah.
And it's like the gay pop culture icon right now, as far as I know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a well-known fact that a woman do carry an evening bag.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of references that RuPaul clearly uses.
But besides, like, even just like the references that are to, what about the cultural story that was involved with that movie?
As somebody who's been around the block a little longer, no.
As a more mature individual.
Yeah, there you go. As a more mature gay, I realize the importance of the younger generation watching these kind of things to kind of see the progression. That's, I think, where the biggest relevance comes in, is because you go back and watch that, what these people are talking about, and some of those references are lost by today's standards because, you know, we have a lot of rights and freedoms that they didn't have even back in '87 when the movie was filmed.
Right.
Hell, going back before that to, you know, Stonewall. But, you know, I think it's important the younger generation sees the progression. Now, as someone who's watched it for the first time, Steve, what were your thoughts?
I liked it. I liked it more than I thought I was going to like it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the biggest thing for me was seeing how drag for the people in the movie was sort of like they were trying to express the things that they wanted. They're like, I know I'm never going to be a millionaire or like a CEO or executive, but I can dress up like one and I can feel like one for the night and I can feel awesome. And it just like, it kind of reminds me of other aspects of gay life, like bears and leather, and like they want to like feel amazing, so they get dressed up in like super sexy outfit and fucking.
I may not be rich, but I can at least feel rich for the night, and that's rich enough for me.
Exactly,
Yes.
exactly. And then I was just sort of like, oh, it's like a bridge was built between me and everyone else a little bit. So it was good. I liked it.
And then you start to look at what happened to the people that were in the documentary after the documentary, and it's like, oh, she died during the documentary.
Mm-hmm.
This one died shortly after. Oh, that one had dead bodies in her closet. So...
You can't help but feel an extraordinary amount of privilege when you're watching this movie. And so that's some good perspective to keep.
Well, there's a lot there too. Like, a lot of that was stuff that was hidden behind closed doors and was hidden in a marginalized population. And nowadays, we have all that on Facebook. We have these references. We have this ability to be ourselves and walk our own ball and our own social media pages.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of like shows like how much we take from things from that era and apply them to everyday life.
And a lot of people take that shit for granted.
Yeah.
Most notably in the movie, there was already people in the movie saying, oh man, I really miss the way it was better back in the day, back when it was more street. And you know, today's generation, oh whatever, they're gonna do their own thing. It seems like that's been happening for at least 40 years.
Well, that's the same for any culture as well.
Yeah, it's never gonna stop.
But like the movie itself is very important to our culture because it really shows like the drag community is a huge stepping stone for us to kind of like cross boundaries and expression. And that movie itself showed a lot more, when it wasn't just about drag, it was about being who you wanted to be at that time. And proving that you didn't have to have the riches to do that, you just had to have a wild imagination and the realness to do it.
Alright, anything else?
That was it?
That's all for me.
Alright, I think we've said all we have to say. Now, Eric covered this movie, a good review of this movie, about 6 months ago, so we'll link that up in our video crotch as well. People always like our crotch. Anyway, as always, like, share, subscribe, and tune in the rest of the week to see the other guys' topics that they're going to talk about. Have a great week. I'll let it stand here like this.